Welcome to Designing with Economics, the hidden logic of systems. I'm Aaron Chang, and this series explores how economic thinking helps us design better experiences in games, education, and everyday life. Whether you're managing resources in a game or time in your day, every system you use is built on the same principles: balance, scarcity, and incentives. In this first episode, we'll uncover why games and really all systems need economists. Okay, so what really is a system? A system is a structure of cause and effect, something that reacts to what people do. In a game, every action has a consequence: spending points, earning rewards, or unlocking progress. Economics gives us a way to describe that logic, to understand how inputs and outcomes shape the choices people make. The better we understand this and that flow, the better we can design systems that feel fair, balanced, and rewarding. Next, what is a game economy? Games are small-scale economies. Players earn and spend value. Resource loops shape behavior. Every game has an economy, even ones without money. Players gain and spend resources, and those flows determine how the game feels and just overall the user experience. If earning is too fast, the challenge disappears. If it's too slow, frustration can build. By managing these taps and sinks where value enters and leaves the system, we design how players move through the experience. Okay, next, this slide better explains our last slide, and it talks about the loop of balance. So balance is what keeps these systems alive. If effort doesn't match reward, the system breaks. Too much ease and players stop caring. Too much challenge and they stop trying. Even in real economics, the same things happen: inflation, scarcity, overproduction. Balance isn't about perfection, it's about stability over time. Okay, so to understand economics better, we need to think of economics beyond money. Economics is about how we make decisions under limits. Money is just one type of limit. In design, the resources could be energy, time, attention, or even patience. Games take those limits and turn them into challenges. That's what makes them strategic, and that's why economic thinking applies perfectly to game design. So now that we understand the basic definition or general definition of an economy, let's think of motivation as an economy. So motivation itself works just like an economy. When effort is rewarded fairly, motivation grows, and that energy goes back into effort. If rewards come too often, motivation loses its meaning. If they come too rarely, frustration builds. So you need to be able to find this perfect balance between with using motivation as an economy so to maximize player potential and performance. As designers or teachers, we're really balancing a physiological economy, keeping effort and reward in harmony. So this diagram over here shows the cycle of adding motivation into the economic model. It goes from effort to reward to motivation. Now let's take systems to a more general and apply it to daily life. Systems are everywhere because every choice has a cost and every reward has a trade-off. Systems don't just exist in games, they're part of our everyday life and they're evident throughout our day. For example, grades, salaries, and achievements all represent resource systems that measure progress. Every choice we make has a cost, and every reward comes from trade-offs. The reason games teach us so much about economics is because they simulate these real-world systems in controlled, visible ways. So now that we understand the general definition of systems that apply in our everyday life and what makes them up, and also the systems in game economics, we need to understand the connection that real systems work the same way between game economy and daily life. So this chart I made shows the correlation between game design and real life. So players can be seen as consultants, rules can be seen as markets which reflect the limits, and rewards can be seen as incentives, and scarcity can be seen as a challenge. The same principles that govern game design also govern real-world systems. Designers adjust difficulty and rewards the same way policymakers adjust supply and demand within the market. Both rely on one thing, which is incentives. People and players respond to incentives in predictable human ways. For games, designing like an economics means thinking in loops, not lines. Every system has inputs, outputs, and reactions, a cycle of behavior that grows or collapses depending on how it's balanced. Whether it's player progress or student engagement, ask yourself, what's the resource? How is it gained or lost? And how does feedback maintain stability? And for better term, how resources can be gained is taps, and how they're lost is sinks. So I made some 3 questions you can ask yourself when you're designing your game economy. So you can ask yourself, first, what is your main resource? Next, ask yourself, how do people earn and lose it? Next, what keeps the system balanced? And remember, the system needs to be balanced and have that same harmony between the economy so players keep playing the game or don't feel demotivated by it. Design is economy in disguise. So what does this mean? So every system, from a classroom to a video game, is an economy of behavior. So economics gives us a shared language to describe fairness, motivation, and value, since economics can be seen in games and in real life. And when we design with that in mind, we stop guessing how people act and start shaping systems that actually make sense, since these human behaviors are often predictable. And every system manages scarcity and value, balance reveals behavior, economics is the language of design. Thanks for watching Designing with Economics, the hidden logic of systems. In the next episode, we'll dive into microeconomics and we'll discover how individual choices create larger systems of value. Until then, remember, behind every great design is a balance of effort, reward, and meaning.